Hello, everyone, and welcome to the channel. Welcome to this first test run at the live streaming, and so today nothing fancy. Today I'm just going to be drawing. Um, I'm going to show you a sneak peek. I think you already got it. A sneak peek at an upcoming at a pinup that I'm working on right now, and and uh, and yes. So here is the work. Here's the artwork. This is a pinup I'm doing for a comic called Fall of Man by A.G.E Comics. Let's see if I can zoom out a little bit. There you go. Oh yes, yeah. So here's the artwork. It's a monster going up against fighting these three heroes. We have this hero here. He's a winged character. We have this character who's shooting a blast of magma, of lava, magma lava, and then we have this character who is the hero, the leader of this group, and he has electric powers, and so he's shooting this bolt of electricity at this big gigantic monster. This is what is called I think it's kaiju is the name of the world. These kinds of monsters that are big like this, and yeah. So let's get started with. So let's get started with the artwork. And what I'm going to do today is just ink over this. Start with the inking. In case you're curious, yeah, the way I approach inking is always from the foreground. I'm sorry, from the foreground to the background. So, for example, things like this claw that's coming from the monster, I'm going to ink this first. I'll also ink the characters first. So I think I'm going to start with this guy here. I'll get started with this, and so I'll just get started with it. This is a bit. The width of that is a little bit thicker than I'd like. Do something thinner, and I'm still trying to figure this out. Let's get started. Here right now, for example, I'm using these Unipen tech pens. This was recommended to me by Mr. Pete Cimetti. I think they were asking, we're talking one day about what tech pens they use, and he recommended this. And I like it. They're very sharp. They're very sharp. They have a very sharp point. It's a sharp line. It's very thin, uh, which is excellent for these small characters because I don't like putting too much ink on it. So yes. So let's see. If you've seen me ink before, you'll know that I ink. I do thin lines at first, just so I can have the lines down, and then I go back over it with. I'll go back over it with a thicker line, so I can play with the line weights a bit. Hey, what's going on, General Piggy? Yeah, welcome to the. Oh, look at that. Nice. I think I'll just leave that there. But yeah, how you doing, General Piggy? Welcome to this to my very first live stream. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I'm trying to see what's going on, but yeah, but yes, today I'm working on this art here. I showed it off earlier. This is a piece that I'm doing for A.G.E Comics. Their comic is called Fall of Man, and this is a pinup. This monster here, and yes, I'm just go ahead. I'm getting started on this right here. And yeah, hail to the general. Salute the general. What's going on, man? Thank you very much for coming by. Hopefully you stick around. If you have any questions, comments, please let me know. And if you'd like to come on the stream, that's also possible too. I'd like to come on and chat. What's going on? What's going on, Frog G? Hey, what's going on? Thank you very much, Frog G. The support is very much appreciated. And and yeah, I was talking to Frog G earlier on Luke's show on Nerd Bacon, and yeah, he's always incredibly supportive. Thank you very much, Frog G, for sharing out the link. Thank you for hitting that like button also. Yeah, if you guys don't mind, the like button helps out a lot. And and yeah, if anybody's interested to come on in the show, the stream, let me know. Yeah, thank you very much, General. Yeah, I try to make it as action packed as I could, because yeah, just trying to make it as nice as possible. And yeah, that monster I wanted to make him nice and mean and vicious looking, and the heroes, trying to do their best to stop it. It's a huge monster. And yeah, so hopefully, what's going on? Yeah, no pressure at all, man. No pressure at all. No pressure at all. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, what you going, what you're referring to, because sometimes I'm outside or at work or something, and I can't really join in on the stream as I'd like. But yeah, man, thank you very much for stopping by. Yeah, hopefully the idea with this, why I'm doing this live streaming is because hopefully I'll be able to make a habit out of this and start doing this more and more often. Um, so as this is called a test run, I'm just trying to see how this works and trying to get a little bit familiarized with the process. My idea is to hopefully have a morning show, and more than the show. Actually, I don't know if I should call it that, but more than the show, it would be like just this draw stream what you're seeing me do now, once a week. And the time that I'm playing with, the time that I think is going to be official, will probably be on Wednesdays, um, at this exact time. Wednesdays at this exact time at 10 a.m. What's that? 10 a.m. 10 a.m. I'm sorry, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, we're an hour behind here in Lima because I am reporting to you live from the third world, man. Live from South America. Yeah, so hopefully everything goes great. Hey, look who's here. Man, got some celebrities in here. Jeremy, how you doing, man? What's going on, Mr. Crackhead, Lord Crackhead? What's going on? Max, what's going on, man? How you doing? Look at me, I'm doing my own streaming. Look at me. I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, if anybody wants to jump on, you guys are more than welcome to come on here and show me how to do this. Cause I don't have no idea what I'm doing. But yeah, I'm working on this art piece. This is for A.G.E comics. The comic is called Fall of Man, and I'm working on this pinup. And yeah, so I was saying, yeah, the idea is going to be hopefully to stream like this every Wednesday mornings at this time. So you guys can hopefully see me do art and also work on my book. I'll have news for the comic at the end of the year because I have to finish. I have to finish a lot of concept art. Like I got the characters. I have the characters finished. I have the story for the first issue. I think finished, and uh, and I have to design these characters. So I have to. I'm starting like from zero. Oh man, what's going on, Dan? Mr. Booty Juice himself. Thank you very much for gracing the channel with your presence, man. I'm a big fan of Dan. Salutations on fan. Yeah, definitely saying hello to everybody. How you guys doing? And and yeah, so the idea is that I'll hopefully be able to do this on a more frequent basis. So I'm testing this out today. I was trying to get another camera in here also so you guys can see me, but haven't quite figured that out yet. I'll be able to. Hopefully, I'll figure this out. But yeah, just so you can get a look. This is the piece here, and I am inking. Uh, and I'm inking. Yeah, and I'm making this monster here. Yeah, please don't be turned off by the pencils, because if you see me draw before my other videos, I do very simple pencils, and then I get in there with the rendering later on. I just want to make sure that I have these lines down, because I'm planning on erasing all of these pencils. And yeah, I got a lot of concept art to get prepared, and I want to do another. I'm gonna do a show at the end of the year, hopefully showing off all of the concept art, because I put a tease a while back for one of the bad guys called Deathmonger. I have that art finished. I just haven't shown it off to anybody yet. I haven't even posted it on social media yet, and I'll show him off along with the artwork for the main character and other side characters, supporting characters. I'm also going to reveal the title of the comic, and I'm going to reveal the logo. I also have a logo. I'd like to hear your opinions on the logo, the name, and everything. So yeah, that's what I have planned for the end of the year. For the end of the year, I'd like to do it sooner, but I don't have anything to show you guys. So until I get something to show you guys, I'll have to wait a little bit. Um, Everybody saying hi. Hey, thanks very much, General. Hey, thank you. Yeah, I usually don't get this. I usually don't get this detailed. I say detailed because I've drawn like even these last. I've drawn all these bolts. I don't usually do that, um, but for the client, I wanted to make sure that they know exactly what it is that I'm drawing. So I put that there. Normally, it's just like I'll sketch the characters out better. I'm sorry, I sketch the characters out like I have here, and then I just jump into it. And then after I put the initial inks down, I erase all the pencils, and then I start with um, with rendering, and then rendering. That's where I go all out. Yeah, so we're planned for about for an hour. Is the idea? So I have a few minutes left. I'm gonna see how much I can get done in an hour. I was surprised when I started doing these videos of how long it takes me to do a piece. I thought that it would be like I don't know, like just like 2, 3 hours, 4 hours, but it ended up being like in the 10 hour range, 10, 12 hour range. I was like, man, it's a lot. Uh, oh man, it's Greg. What's going on, man? How you doing? Hey, yeah. What's going on, man? Yeah, if anybody's interested, I said before, if anybody's interested in jumping on the show, let me know. Cause I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Yeah, man, doing good, man. Yeah, long time, man. I haven't. Yeah, I missed. Like, I lost track of Greg for a while because we were like when I first got on Twitter, we were friends really quick, and then there was a moment where I had like I think he got banned on Twitter. Then had to look for him. I ended up finding him on uh, and I had to find him on Instagram, and I found him, and I found him on Facebook also. Yeah, he's a real cool cat. And yeah, I'm doing good, man. Just trying to improve on the artwork as always, and trying to get my comic out there. Man, I don't even know if I'll actually do it because it's all like it's almost like talking into the wind. But yeah, people in the indie scene and Comics Gate in general, man, very supportive and yeah, you guys give me a lot of inspiration. Inspiration is the word. Yeah, Comics Gate is great. Hey, Comics Gate. Hope you guys are doing great. I hope you enjoy this art. Let's see what we got here. Nice. Yeah. I don't know how I send you a link. I don't know if you're on Twitter or not, but I guess through Instagram. I'm not sure. But yeah, hit me up, Greg, and then come on down. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I would like to do like an evening show like everybody else, but no, my evenings are tied up with responsibilities. I want to hang out with my I want to hang out with my family. Also, I don't see them. Like for example, this morning I'm not. My daughter's at school and my wife she's working in the morning, so I'm free in the morning. This is usually when I do my art. So yeah, ever since I figured out how to set up this camera, that's why I started the channel. So yeah, I'm glad I'm able to do this, and I want to take advantage of my mornings. Yeah, and there's not actually a lot of morning shows. We got Nerd Bacon today. I was watching that. I love Nerd Bacon. Yeah, that guy's put on a great show. Oh yeah, I'll do that. It's the Greg. No worries. Yeah, yeah, I think so too. General. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was like, yeah, morning might be the best thing to do because yeah, the evenings are all soaked up. Like everybody's streaming in the evenings. Um, so in the morning, I know there's only a few shows. There's Nerd Bacon. There's also Don Chen's got his show. Wednesdays, and nerd bacon today. I was going to do it Friday, but I don't know if Fridays will be a good time for everybody. And yes, I'm gonna hopefully have the morning slot just for me. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna do the show like I think from this hour, and then so that when this finishes, you guys can go ahead and jump on Don's show afterwards, which would be nice. Now, hey Amanda, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you very much for stopping by. What's going on, General? Hey, General saying hi. Amanda saying hi. Yeah, yeah. Hold up, I think I gotta send my. Hold up. I'm sorry, guys. I'm looking for Greg. Yeah, so that's the idea. Um, Amanda B. Amanda B is incredibly supportive. She's really cool people. Really cool people. See if I can zoom into these details. Can you guys see that? I think so. And yeah, I mean, if anybody wants to join, you guys are more than welcome. And or the comments in the chat were great also. There's no pressure at all. Whatever is easier for you guys. Yeah, and I have no topic to talk about really, other than this piece right here. I don't need to be too detailed with it. Be too detailed with this because I'm gonna end up erasing most of the stuff anyways. Oh man, there he is. Greg, how you doing, man?
Hail! What's up, Elliot? How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. How you doing? Nice to see you officially.
Yeah,
Finally,
buddy.
how you doing?
Excellent, man. Got some really crazy, awesome projects going on, and that always makes me happy.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the work you're putting out, man.
Thanks, dude.
Good stuff, man.
Got something really. I have a surprise project in the works right now that. Well, I call it surprise because it wasn't anything I'd planned, and normally I'm the planner guy, But
Yeah.
my artist John Howard, the artist on Gun Demon, he decided that we should do a Conan graphic novel because
Oh,
Conan is
nice.
public. Yeah, Conan's public domain in Europe.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, so he's in the UK, so he's going to launch the project over there, and we've got it in
Oh,
the
that's awesome.
works. Yeah, and I recruited Jake Ryan, who's the senior editor over here at Brain Cage. and I recruited him to co-write it with me. So we've been working on it, having some development meetings, and I think I've reverse engineered Robert E. Howard's writing style and really understanding the world of Hyboria now more than I ever did before. So that's pretty fun.
Yeah, I can imagine. And the world of Hyboria, you said?
Yeah, the Hyborian age that
Ah,
Conan
okay,
lives in.
okay, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's
crazy. I had no idea he was public domain. That's awesome.
yeah, over in Europe he is.
Yeah.
He won't be public domain in the States, I guess, until like 2028. But then again, I guess now um, somebody, Titan Press or whatever, has the copyright on him now. I don't know what's going on there, but it's I mean, it's cool for me. It's the thing is, oops, that's my vape. 1 second.
Yeah, no worries, man.
The thing is about Conan is is a special project for me, because that was the second comic book that made me really love comics, was Conan. And
Nice.
the thing is, though, and that's a lot of why I'm doing it, and also because I love fantasy, and I don't see that many people out there in comic books, particularly, that really seem to understand fantasy. But I see a lot
Yeah.
of people taking their stab at it, and
That's
so
kind of what I'm gonna do.
is it?
Yeah, like the comic that I'm working on making is a fantasy, also like a sci-fi fantasy comic.
Hmm,
Thinking more like along the lines of Final Fantasy, something like that. And
hmm.
yeah, so yeah, I mean, I'm also I'm incredibly new to the to that genre. I love Conan, for example, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be a connoisseur of that type. So I'll see what happens.
Well, yeah, Conan's a good place to start because Conan's
Yeah.
low fantasy, and low fantasy. There are different things. I got an argument with somebody in the community recently about what constitutes as low and high fantasy and all that, but it's pretty widely known what constitutes as low and high fantasy. Like, for example, low fantasy is very similar to Earth.
Okay.
The more similar to Earth it is, the more low fantasy it is. The
Ah,
more
okay.
like it, and if it's like an alien world altogether, a completely different world, then that's high fantasy, the highest.
Okay. Okay.
Then you have the complexity of the creatures and the magics and such. Like in low fantasy, there's really no understanding of how the magic works. It's very mysterious to the reader,
Okay.
and you don't get to understand or see the inner workings of a wizard's mind. Whereas in high fantasy, the spells are understood. There's a magic system that's defined. Like, for example, Brandon Sanderson is really well known for developing awesome magic systems that are very unique.
Yeah.
And he does a lot of high fantasy. But
Like systems in terms of like how people use magic, how they counter each other's magic, and how that works.
mm-hmm,
Like,
yeah.
okay, I got you. Okay, I got you.
And if it's done right, sometimes it seems almost like science fiction, like
Yeah.
the Death Gate cycle by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman, which, by the way, those 7 books are must reads.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're wanting to learn about history, or sorry, not history, fantasy,
Fantasy. Yeah.
the Death Gate cycle is a must read because it's some of the most innovative modern high fantasy.
Yeah.
And but it's really, really brilliant work. But like in that system, there's a species called the Sartan, and it's explained how they cast their magic, and I think it's really brilliant because, like, in the back of each of the Deathgate cycle books, one of the characters it has like like theses, a thesis written by one of the main characters, like a scholarly character,
Oh
and
wow.
where he breaks down the magic, and it feels like you're reading a science fiction or a science journal. But
Nice.
what the Sartan do is they look into all these different realities, and then they pick the most favorable one and draw that into the reality that they're currently in. So if let's say you're fighting some badass, right, and you want to do something, so you look into all the realities. Sartan looks into all the realities and sees that in one of the realities, a dragon came down and ate the guy. So you basically pull the dragon, that reality, into this reality, and that's how you summon a dragon.
Yeah.
You know, There's no fire at that, in existence at that moment in that place, but you look into realities where there's fire there, and that's how you summon a fireball or things like that. So, really brilliant way that Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman designed their magic system. But like in Conan, which is low fantasy, and Lord of the Rings, we have no idea. That was what the argument was about that I had with some. I'm not going to name who it was and calls like some stupid drama, blah, blah, blah. It's a waste of time. But she was basically saying Lord of the Rings was high fantasy because she Googled fantasy, and Lord of the Rings is the first thing that came up. But if you Google fantasy dildo, Lord of the Rings is the first thing that comes up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I got you.
It's it's Google, man. Google isn't.
Yeah.
It's
It's
not
not a
our
reliable
librarian.
source.
Yeah, it's not the ultimate librarian like people paint it. But anyways,
So
Lord
wait,
of the,
Lord of the Rings is not high fantasy. You're
it's
saying
low fantasy.
because it happens on Earth.
It's very similar to Earth. In fact, it's called Middle Earth, and he created it to be mythology, like a new mythology for us, and for us Earthlings. But
Okay.
yeah, it's Earth. In fact, like
Okay.
you can break down. In fact, Tolkien has broken down what each of the races, like which people on Earth they represent. Like for example, the Lothlorien elves. I think it was the Lothlorien elves. They're they're Swedish or Nordic types. I forget. It's been a long time since I studied this stuff, but you can there it's Earth basically with some little bit of dressing. So it's low fantasy. We don't understand the magic system at all. We have no idea what Gandalf is doing with magic at any time in the story. There's just there are many other reasons why it's definitely low fantasy. The best some of the best examples of high fantasy are Dragonlance and like the Dark Elf series by Bob Salvatore, and Dragonlance is by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman. Those are on completely different worlds. The magic systems are explained in the books. Like, for example, in the world of Kryn, which Dragonlance is set in, the magic comes from the moons. They have these different moons, and it's like Nutari, Solinari. There's 3 of them. I forget the names of them. There's the black moon, the white moon, and then there's the red moon. And the magical orders, each order operates, off of each moon, off a different moon. Like the black moon is invisible; you can't see it. And I think Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman was telling us about Saturn right there, and the Saturn worshippers that in real life. I think they're, which I'm not going to get into that. That's that's the kind of shit that gets me marked as a fucking conspiracy theorist nut job and shit like that, But it's just world history. That's all it is. Fucking lamers.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Some people are sometimes set in their own ideas. Too much shit.
Oh man, people are afraid, Elliot. People are scared to death of reality and what's going on in the world, and that's why they expect people to come and save them. That's why they believe in politicians and celebrities and all this other. Nobody's coming to save any of us. It's important for us to understand that as adults, it's up to us to do things for ourselves and for children and people who can't do things for themselves and stuff like you can't expect some politician to come along and save us. They never have, never will.
Yeah, the government never has the interest of the people in their agenda. Never.
Yep.
It's always how they can get a benefit from something. There's always a benefit to be had. Yeah, definitely.
Yep, it's all the same.
In just a second, just a second. I'm gonna say hi to some of the people in the chat. Scroll here. How you doing, El Crudo? What's going on, Manny? Yeah, thank you very much, man. Thank you very much, man. Yeah, you're more than welcome on the show. Also, hop on in anytime you want. I have an open show for everybody. And what's going on, Amanda? And Zay, what's going on, man? Man, I'm having all the heavy hitters coming on the channel on the first day. I am humbled, and thank you very much. I might show that off today, if you don't mind. If I can figure this out. I did this recently. Let me see if I can before I show something I'm not supposed to. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I don't have the colors on my computer, but I want to show off this piece that Zayd is talking about. Uh, Phil is talking about. Phil. Yeah, here it is. Let's see if I can share this. I don't know if you guys can see this. Hello? Can you see this? I know you can't see this.
Nope.
Never mind. Yeah, never mind. I got the
Goddamn
camera set up
technology.
somewhere else. Yeah. So, yeah, forget it. I'll do it some other time. But yeah. I did a piece for a King Toad Comics with Joe Ball and Shane a while back, and yeah, I really like how that came out and the colors and stuff.
But hey, if it's any
Yeah.
consolation, you understand technology better than Elon Musk does. So, not that
Nice.
that requires much, but
Yeah, that's crazy.
he's
Yeah, I'll be
he's
sure to.
literally going to reinvent the wheel. I think he's literally going to do it here in the near future. Oh, them pesky wheels! I figured out that it would be better if it was actually a square shape. We'll do that this time. Fucking
Definitely.
Elon. People fall for this guy. People fall for any of these scammers. Like it amazes me, dude. I don't get it. Fucking Americans, man. I want to get out of this country.
Are you in the States right now?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Nice.
There are nice parts of the states, and there are nice people
Yeah,
here
yeah,
too. But
yeah, definitely.
this is a very corrupted society from top to bottom. It's so corrupt that people don't even see the irony in their behaviors and words a lot of times, and
Yeah, that is
they don't
actually
even.
very true. That is actually
Mhm.
very true, and it's actually depending on where you go, it could be more corrupt because here in Peru, things are incredibly corrupt, and it's to the point where like they don't politicians don't care. They'll do something completely illegal right in your face and not even blink twice or just go about their business.
It's
And
USA.
it's always surprising.
USA is exactly like that, and
Yeah,
it's mostly being done though by mega corporations. That's the difference. Is
yeah,
um, government and the corporations have a monopoly on the scams. If you're not connected, with the right crime organization, then you don't get to do that stuff, and they'll throw you in jail and
yeah,
stuff. But if you're like Elon Musk and you're connected to the right global crime ring, in this case, you can just do whatever, and you get to do it. You get
exactly.
people worship you for it.
That's true.
Back to that Conan project.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I'm going to basically, I say I'm giving Conan a high fantasy upgrade, but it's more like medium fantasy, what we're doing, because if I go full high fantasy with Conan, it won't be the Hyborian Age anymore. It'll be a different world.
yeah,
But like the magic systems and creatures and things like that are going to feel very high fantasy in it. I definitely am going to keep, I should say we, because Jake and I are working very hard, researching very hard to make sure that we represent Conan and the Hyborian Age really well. And honestly, I think I got Howard figured out. I think I got the way he was thinking when he wrote this stuff pretty figured out. It's a fairly simple world to jump into compared to others. Oh wow,
yeah, definitely. Oh, you can see it.
yeah. Is that
Nice.
yours?
I figured it out. I'm sorry, but yeah. I did this last week, and this is the Storm character that Philip is mentioning in the chat. And yeah, I did this last week. I don't have the colors, otherwise I would show that off also. But this was colored recently by Seven Legions is the handle on Twitter, and yeah, this is going to be in the upcoming comic called Swarm. Here's the character right there, Swarm.
Yeah,
He's
Seven
very
Legions is Michael Beacon.
yeah,
Good guy.
yeah, Beacon, yeah. And
Beacon's
he
a
did
cool
the
guy.
colors for it. He killed it. He killed it on this. I really enjoy what he did with it. And yeah, that's the piece right there. I wanted to show that off for Phil. Sorry.
It's really cool, man.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Really cool.
And we're back. Yeah, and yeah, I have no idea at all about the age that Conan is in. But but yeah, I really love the aesthetic, the monsters and stuff, and I'm always excited to see Conan and his interpretations. I'm a big fan of Buscema's art on Conan.
Oh yeah, that's who we are
Trying,
referencing as our Conan.
yeah, man, that's
You
the
know,
best way to
it's
go.
yeah, I agree. That's definitely that's definitely my Conan, and
Yeah,
our Conan in our story. By the way, it's titled "The Immortal Cimmerian,"
nice.
and basically in our story, it's decades later after Howard's stories, and I'm treating our story like Conan's high level story, whereas what we've seen and read before has been low to mid level stories. In
Yeah.
RPG terms, that is. So you're gonna, hey, what's up, Chris?
What's going on, Chris? Good to see you. What's going on, man? Thank you for stopping by.
And
Yes,
big
sorry.
problem.
Go
That's
ahead. Go
okay.
ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. It happens. It's the internet. It's latency. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm a jibber jabberer too, but at least when I have somebody interesting to talk to, I am. I'm pretty quiet otherwise. But um, basically, one problem I had on the offset as I was starting to study Howard's stories here recently. I've been listening to audio books and all that, and Conan's not a good guy. For some reason, like my memory of Conan from the comics when I was a kid, because I grew out of Conan pretty quick, um,
Yeah.
for different reasons, whatever. But it really was one of the things that got me in comics. But my problem with Conan is he's a scumbag. You know, he pretty much is a villain. Sometimes he's an anti-hero, but really, usually, the only time he's heroic in any way or anybody should root for him is simply because when he often goes up against like unnatural creatures that shouldn't exist or are extremely dangerous to lots of people. But
Yeah.
almost every story starts out with him trying to break into somebody's castle and steal their shit, or he rapes women. You know, he's not cool, and
Yeah.
I don't really like that part of him. It's fun, to have this big badass, wiping through monsters and stuff like that. I love that aspect of it. But what I'm doing with the story is, oh yeah, Phil, I've definitely got some Gun Demon news. I'll give up here in a second. But what
Yeah,
I've
man.
done
Sure.
is I like to write heroes. I like
Yeah.
heroes. I find anti-heroes very boring and lazy. Personally, it's just they're too easy to write. I could write anti-heroes all day without much much thought, planning, things like that. You can just pretty much set them into a story a lot of times. And I think we need heroes in this era now more than ever.
Definitely.
Um,
Definitely.
because Hollywood only seems to want, and I know why, and I'm not going to go into that on this show and turn this into Conspiracy Central, but they want to deconstruct all of our heroes. They've been doing it. We've seen it.
Yes. Yes.
And they don't want us to have heroic examples. Our children, actually, not us. We don't matter to them. We're going to be
Yeah. That's
disposed
that.
of.
The ultimate target in the end for everything, and I hope everybody can hear me say this, but the ultimate target are the children. They're coming
Mm-hmm.
for the children. What they want is the children, and they're trying to ease us into being okay with things that are just by nature not, like
Mm-hmm.
all these drag shows that we see that I see all over Twitter. I mean, no, that's incredibly wrong, and that's what they're after. They want to. They're trying to desensitize you
Mm-hmm.
into saying that things that are unnatural are natural, And then things that are bad are good, and then when
Mm-hmm.
everybody agrees, they'll continue pushing it to the next level, and then before you
Mm-hmm.
know it, the society is beyond repair now. But
Well,
yeah,
I looked at it. I looked at this project, and Jake and I had some meetings, and I said, man, I want Conan to be a hero,
yeah, definitely.
but at the same time, I have to write Conan like he's Conan. I like those who are actual Conan fans. They're going to back this book. They want a Conan experience out of it, and so my goal is to satisfy them while at the same time satisfying people who are more into high fantasy. Because honestly, dude, once you read Dragonlance, the Stormlight Archives, the Dark Elf series, any of the real awesome fantasy, like the best fantasy, it's really difficult to lower yourself down to sword and sorcery and low fantasy anymore after that.
yeah.
Like, unless it's just a nostalgia thing or that's your style. It's kind of like when I was a teenager, I was into rock and roll, and I'd learn like Poison and Ozzy songs on my guitar and learn how to sing them.
Hmm.
But then once I heard metal, I'm like, oh, fuck rock, because it's the next stage of of
Yeah,
development, personal growth, and all that. And it's like sword and sorcery is like at the bottom. It's the beginning, and you want to and like the evolution is the higher types of fantasy. Well, I want it to be something somebody like me who's a fantasy fan can read and be like, yeah, that's cool. And then Conan fans will be very happy because it's Conan and that's Hyborian age,
yeah,
and all that. So there's this balance that Jake and I are very carefully walking. And the way I'm doing it, though, is Conan is Conan like he's always been, but I'm not going to write him raping anybody. It's not happening.
yeah, yeah,
Instead, Conan doesn't have to rape. Conan's the biggest, buffest, fucking badass dude around. Like, the women want him anyways. Why would he fucking have to rape a
yeah,
woman or take on a fucking female sex slave or some bullshit? He doesn't have to do that. That's silly. So, in this story, the women want him. He doesn't, and also, I'm going to spoil a little bit. It won't really spoil anything. It'll just set some of the themes. But I've got, this being his high level storyline, I looked at characters that could, like, let's say this is, let's say we're getting into a fictional world. Characters that could have, according to mythology, could have existed like during the Hyborian age. One of them is Merlin.
hmm,
So Merlin is the wizard of the party, of the adventuring party in this story. And because this is thousands of years before King Arthur's time.
yeah.
But in the Arthur stories, in Arthurian legend, Merlin had been around for long before Arthur's time.
Yeah, like a
So
few thousand years, I think, right? A few
yeah.
thousand years. Yeah.
And early in the story, there's this line Merlin is narrating, and he says, "The world needed a hero now more than ever. Unfortunately, the world would have to settle for a barbarian."
Oh, oh man.
So Merlin works things into position so that Conan, can be heroic instead of just another fucking scoundrel out there that robs people and fucking rapes women and kills people for little reason. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
he's so powerful. Why not use him? That's, and another fun thing about this story is in most fantasy, even high fantasy, you don't get in on what the wizards are plotting. It's hinted at the wizard's scheme, right? They plot, they plan, they scheme, they move events into motion into the
yeah.
best, but we're going to let you in on how Merlin brings all of these events into motion, how you can take somebody like Conan and turn him into an actual hero. So, and this is a different Conan. This is an older, wiser Conan. He's going to have white hair
Oh wow.
and look older, of course. I mean, imagine the John Buscema Conan, but like about 30, 40 years older.
Oh wow.
And yeah, and
That's a nice approach. Yeah.
I like that approach personally.
Yeah.
I'm doing the same thing. In fact, we were working on the same thing with Zorro, Lone Ranger, and Sherlock Holmes as an adventuring party. John Howard and I was working on that. We called it. Well, anyways, but then Yeah, grape isn't much of a power fantasy. A willing woman should be the goal. Yeah, exactly. And I asked Chuck Dixon, I said, because he wrote Conan, and I asked Charles Santino. These are guys who wrote Conan that I have, I can reach out to and message. And I asked him, hey, any advice for a new Conan writer? Chuck said, Conan is toxic masculinity, and everything that the SJWs
Man,
hate he is.
that's
And
horrible.
he said he's the ultimate male fantasy. I don't actually. I hate to say this because I'm a big fan of Chuck's and I respect him fully, but I don't believe that's the male fantasy. Conan is not the male fan. The male fantasy is that you come in, you're the hero, and the women want you because you're awesome, dude, and you protect and all
Yeah.
that. You don't just go in and that's a villain fantasy. Like SJWs would fantasize about rape and stuff like that, like coming in and just taking what they want. That's what they do. That's all the Marxists do.
Mm.
So, but I definitely agree. I understand what he was getting at. You know what I mean? Like Conan kicks the ass, he gets the pussy, and and that's Conan. But so I get it. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, listening to these audio books, yeah, it's not the male. That's not my fantasy, and I'm definitely a male. I it's I always wanted to be the hero, and I think that's all what us little boys are supposed to want to do. We want to be the hero. So, Phil was asking about Gun Demon. Yeah, Phil,
Yeah.
I had during the Gun Demon campaign. Um, I had a member, one of the key members of Brain Cage of our team, pull out of Brain Cage and take his book World War Hell with him. So my whole campaign was tied in with World War Hell directly. In fact, I had World War Hell issue 0, a 10-page issue 0 in my campaign, along with Gun Demon issue 1. So he pulled out, and I lost a couple other people, and
Oh man,
yeah, we lost some. We
that
lost some of the
sucks.
members. It happens. It's when you're building a team. Some people aren't going to work out, and I'm building. I want Brain Cage to be established as premium brand,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
most people aren't capable of producing premium, and it really just comes down to more work. It really does come down to more work. Our stories are very well developed. Our world's very well developed, and and I'm really picky about art. I want top tier. I don't, it's fine that there are indie looking art out there. But I don't want to be, I want people to see Brain Cage and that symbol and think,
And associated
quality.
with, yeah, quality. Yeah.
And that
Yeah,
means I
because
work.
we're indie doesn't mean we have to be bad. I mean, yeah, it's always good to aspire to get the best writers, best artists, best best everybody.
Well, a lot of
Nothing wrong with
times,
that. Yeah.
well, a lot of times, what looks like an average artist to most people is actually one of the best artists. There's like one thing missing.
Yeah.
There's oftentimes just one, maybe two things missing in their mind, where when they figure those things out, they're going to be the next Simon Bisley or the next Mark Silvestri or Dale Keown. And so I understand some of these things, and I'm a visual artist. I've had my hands in honestly every art medium, every creative medium on some level or another. It's why I'm starting hey, thanks, Chris. It's why I'm starting a multimedia company instead of just a comic book company or whatever. And
Yeah.
I'm primarily a movie director. That's what most of my training
Oh wow.
and time and experience has been put into, is shooting short films. Which, by the way, I'm going to get back to doing shooting some short films here pretty soon. But I just got to get some of this work. I've been bogged down. I had to replan everything, rewrite our story. The canon of our universe had to be fucking completely changed now because of these guys pulling out.
Man, that
So
sucks. How far along were
yeah.
you before that happened?
Oh, dude, I was fucking. We, we had we
Almost
had
finished.
from we had from like World War II up to today, fully
Man,
mapped out what was going to happen in our universe, as well as a lot of ancient stuff going on in the ancient world. Because
man, that's
the whole,
horrible.
yeah, man, a lot of work, over 3 years of work, Elliot, over
Man,
3 fucking years of hours a day of work just for this douchebag to pull out And he said he's quitting because I'm a homophobe and an anti-fucking Semite. This happened in Comicsgate? Are you fucking shitting me? Fuck out of here, fuckers. Call people fucking anti-Semites and homophobes. Get the fuck into the mainstream, fucking weaklings. That bullshit. Anyways,
man.
that shit, I'm sick of that shit. That is not supposed to be fucking happening in Comicsgate. God damn it. And my fucking Jewish friends will tell you I'm not a fucking anti-Semite. That shit pisses me off. Anytime you don't agree with somebody who's of Jewish, who call themselves Jews, you're an anti-Semite all of a sudden. It's just like the not agreeing with a woman, and now you're you hate women, and it's all that SJW shit. Shit pisses me off. I'm sick of it. Get the fuck out of Comicsgate. My Jewish friends are people who can handle critique. They are people of integrity who can handle somebody making fun of them, or something like that, just like I do. People make fun of me all the time. I'm the butt of jokes. I'm a fucking conspiracy theorist. I don't give a fuck, and basically anybody who's of fucking sound adult mind, really, that stuff isn't really going to do anything for them. You know what I'm saying? It's not, but we've had to redo things. And I think it's better now. And so do a lot of the backers that I've had proofread. And I've told them about the changes in the universe. And now it's revolving more around mechs instead of the demons as much. Because without World War Hell, I didn't want to do something similar to World War Hell in World War II in our universe. And then him and I have to like compete with each other and like McDonald's and fucking Burger King bullshit, right? So I just went completely different, and we're going more mech heavy, which I'm always been a huge mech fan anyways. So, so basic. Hey, what's up, 80s? How you doing, brother?
So, what's going on, 80s? Good to see you, man.
He's got a good stream.
I love his channel. Yeah. Be sure to subscribe to his channel and watch it. He's got a lot of good stuff over there.
Oh, yeah. Him and I agree on a lot of things as far as how things work in the world, and as far as like video games and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he's cool. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this channel.
See, Chris is one of my Jewish friends.
Yeah, he gets it.
He knows what's up. I specifically call out that it's Moloch cultists, not Jews anyways, that are doing the shit that's being attributed to Jews. And I don't know how that can be twisted into anti-Semites unless somebody's going to call Moloch worshipers Jews, in which they're being the anti-Semite at that point. They're the ones hating on Jews, because to call a Jew a Moloch cultist is essentially the worst thing you can call them. That's like...
anyway. It goes against... Yeah, that gets deep into the religion also, yeah.
I don't feel like I need to explain myself anyways. Fuck people who don't get it. But anyways, so now we have a lot of mech involvement, and which, by the way, James Dean Anderson just finished the logo for Mecha Man, my mech title. And now backers are going to get Mecha Man issue 0 in Gundemon, in the Gundemon campaign, which I screwed up my campaign, Elliot. I'm really great at writing. I'm great at world building. I'm great at recruiting, developing business models, all these different things, developing products. But Indiegogo, I was a complete newbie, and I fucked up on the campaign. There were things I learned, and so I'm going to relaunch and try to get more of that funding I need to make this baby happen. So I'm going to relaunch.
What happened? Like the funds were not properly analyzed beforehand?
It was actually several things. And this is what's funny is I did the research like everybody does about crowdsourcing, and I talked to other creators. I got advice, but that was like 2 years ago when I was meaning to launch before, and then artists delayed my project big time. And I didn't get to launch back then. And then when I finally launched, I had forgotten some of the key things. I hadn't talked about it for a while with people, or hadn't thought about it. And I made some really amateur mistakes. And one of them was setting my goal too high. And so I didn't go in demand. I'd forgotten that if you don't reach your goal, you don't get to go in demand. So,
oh, man.
Also, I didn't even have any I didn't have any like photoshopped images or, promotional materials, anything
Okay.
like that to put on the page. All I did was I put, the images and such on there, uploaded those, and then I just wrote in their basic text, and that's very amateur looking.
Well,
So I've got a guy now who is my Photoshop guy. His name's Corey, and he's going to be working on all of our stuff like that. Make sure we've got good pro looking ads and everything. Talking to Pedro Ang about us doing a cinematic trailer for Gun Demon, and I'm also going to use that trailer for proof of concept for the movie as well as the comic book. So we're going to make it nice and cinematic.
that's nice. Yeah, Pedro's doing really good work.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen his
And he's
animation work before. He does really good stuff.
Yeah, and he's a really great guy to work with. Really, really easy
Yeah.
to work with. No drama, no issues. We just fucking get things done the way it's supposed to be.
Exactly. That's good,
So,
man.
so I'm relaunching Gun Demon, and I actually want to get the Conan book going before I do the relaunch of Conan of Gun Demon, because I have a feeling that this Conan book could bring backers over to the other titles, that we're launching. So
Yeah. Yeah, that makes
that's what
sense.
I'm
Yeah.
working on. I think what I'm going to launch first is going to be, depending on which is ready to launch first. I'm still waiting on art, and I'm going to be waiting on a programmer as well. But I'm going to either launch the first Battlegate collectible card game deck campaign, or I'm going to launch my NES homebrew game Blastbot, which is a Metrovania platformer, 8-bit Nintendo.
Yeah.
So one of those two are going to launch before the Conan and the Gun Demon, the next Gun Demon campaign. I feel like the original projection I had for when Gun Demon is going to be ready I'm not going to make it in time. So I don't want to mislead the people who already backed. It's, too many delays. There are too many things, too many snags in my way.
Yeah, that could be detrimental for the campaign. Yeah,
Yeah, and I feel like,
I always try to be as careful as I can about making any kind of announcements, because when you don't fulfill, or when you don't do what you say, yeah, it's a stab at your credibility and your word as a creator, and
mm-hmm,
all of that is very sensitive. Like, you have to be very you have to do what you say. If you
mm-hmm,
make a promise, you got to complete. You got to do it. And
mm-hmm.
yeah, I get you. I get you.
Yeah, so that's what's in the works right now. I'm really lucky to get to work with the programmer that I'm working with on the NES games. His name's Dale Coop, and
Nice.
Dale is the most respected programmer in the in the NES homebrew community, and he's really fabulous. And he's a developer in his own right too. He's got some games that he's made, and so Dale's a super cool guy. Everybody loves him in that community, so that brings some promotion power to my game. So
Nice. I got you. That sounds good, man. Yeah, thank you very much for stopping by, man. I really appreciate it.
thanks
I
for
think
having
we,
me.
no problem. I think we have. I think we're running up on I think we passed the hour mark, and yeah, I'll end the stream in a moment. And yeah, thank you to everybody who's watching. I really appreciate it. And this has been a test run, but I think I'm going to change this and just make this the official first draw stream that I'm doing with my my co-host, Mr. Greg of Gun Demon, soon to be the Conan book,
And Mecha Man.
and Mecha Man.
Have you seen
Yeah,
Mecha Man?
I have not. Do you have an image?
Oh,
That
do I
shows?
ever?
Let's
Do
see.
I ever? Let me show you. This is it took me about 3 years to find the artist who was just right for this book, and I found him. His name is Ihsan Fazeli. He's from Iran,
Yeah.
and he's phenomenal. This guy is super easy to work with too. Another very professional guy that's really nice. Um, Here we go. Let me bring these up. Very happy with Mecha Man. Originally, it was going to be my character Celestian, the champion of Earth, that was going to be co-starring with Gunny in
Yeah.
Gun Demon #1. and artists who were supposed to be designing Celestian did not deliver in time. So Isan did. So now we've got Mecha Man.
Well, that's awesome, man.
This is the
That looks
prototype
great.
suit. You'll see this at Gun Demon #1, and a couple backers have bought the drone
Yeah, that
interior
looks
where
sweet.
and that's sick.
Yeah,
Look at
yeah, it looks
this.
great.
This
Details.
is this is what he considers a sketch. This isn't his.
Oh wow,
Yeah, there's the
that's
logo by
crazy.
James Dean Anderson. Did the logo. He's the absolute
Nice.
best at logos I've ever
That's dope. I
seen.
like that.
He's phenomenal. And then here is this is the heavy suit. You're not going to see this until
Oh wow.
issue 1 of Mecha Man, but this is what he uses to fight kaiju. And you'll see that in
Nice.
you'll see that going on in issue 1 of Mecha Man, which will be the next book after Gun Demon, next Brain Cage book. And you can see here's
That's awesome. Yeah, there's a huge
size.
scale. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's
And
awesome. I like that. Yeah,
I
that's
love
dope.
mechs. But that's a little taste of Mecha Man there. And Gunny likes to go fast and he likes to fly. And so hanging out with Mecha Man is going to be a blast for Gunny. He's going to be climbing around on the mech suit while he's flying around, and Gunny will be shooting down at the ground from the suit and riding around on his shoulder and things like that. And it's going to be really fun.
Nice. Sweet. And yeah, thank you very much, Greg, for giving us that inside look behind Mecha Man. That's going to be dope. I'm excited for that, and also for Gun Demon. And so, yeah, if you give me the info, Greg, I'll be sure to put it in the description so people can check that out also when it comes out.
Fabulous, will do. Thanks, man.
And no problem, man. Yeah, thank you very much to everybody in the chat. Thank you for stopping by, and yeah, please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Also, I'll be doing this again next week on Wednesday, I think. So, so Greg, if you're free then you're more than welcome to come back on.
Love to.
No problem at all. And that'll be it. Thank you very much to everybody. Be careful. Have a great day. Take care.